Scope has to do with where the PAN is, what you do with that PAN, that 16-digit credit card number as it relates to PCI, and how systems, people, and processes interact with it. Scope is very important to PCI because it determines the boundary of that needs to be validated. Scope is not subject to opinion. It's not subject to your budget. You can't protect PAN that you're unaware of. So understanding where those scope boundaries are and understanding, that's how you determine how to protect. That's where you draw that layer of security in depth. Unless you know where that scope is, how do you protect the edge? One of the things that's key to determining scope is understanding business processes. Understand all the business processes, interview the people internal to your organization, understand how they interact with the credit cards, both ingress and transmission, and understanding where those credit cards, either from a systematic or process standpoint, can be. Say you accept credit card forms via fax machine, and if your fax machine happens to be a fax server with a hard drive in it, you may inadvertently store those cards there. Missing scope can be an explosive activity. Say, for example, if that fax server happens to sit on your corporate LAN and now you have the connected to scenario, now you have a whole lot of systems that are in scope that you weren't planning or budgeting for. Because scope can be very expensive, one of the things that we do as QSAs as part of our initial assessment, it usually happens in the gap assessment, is that we will help the client find all their PAN and help draw the boundaries around the scope. Often it's much larger than they expect. In our gap assessment, we will have recommendations, or we can do consultative actions where we help them re-architect smaller footprint for their PAN. And then when we come back for the actual assessment, there is a much smaller footprint of scope to look at.